Hello, everybody. It's Tuesday here on Facebook, live with me, Tamara. I consider myself an inspirational storytelling business mentor. You can catch me live here every Tuesday. And if you are a member of my Tamaron's Place group, which is based for entrepreneurs, whether you are male or female, again, as a member, one of the free gifts that I offer is that you can send in a question if you have a challenge or some type of a crisis that you think is happening. You are someone who can be chosen each week so that I can answer your question live here on Facebook. It is one of the perks, and the value of a full tarot reading is actually $300 Canadian, and we go much deeper within an hour. And I make some recommendations for you based on some spiritual holistic modalities, but while we are here live on Facebook, it is usually about 20 minutes. So it's just another little perk of being part of my community. So stay tuned at the very end of this video. I will share some information on how you can actually be a part of that and and find out some more information. The concept itself actually started last year, but it's taken me quite some time to figure out how I wanted to do it, what I wanted to charge people. I certainly want to make it affordable for someone, so it really only is $36 a month Canadian. There's a way to get that free, and there's also a way to pay in advance so you save some extra money. So again, listen up at the end, or you're more than welcome to send me a private message, and I will follow up with you. So here we are. I like to chat for a couple of minutes in the beginning to see if people have joined. So we've got a few people on here. I don't have my glasses on today, guys, so we're kind of winging it. So who do I know? We've got Wendy. So awesome. Hey, Wendy, how's it going? We both live in Northern Ontario here, and I don't know about you, Wendy, but I am super excited to see the sun and some warm weather, and to see a few more birds out and some livelihood with nature out there. And the snow is finally starting to melt. So exciting. Oh, we've got Mita. Mita, hey, how are you? Mita is in Southern Ontario. She's a participant of one of my programs from last year when this whole concept of my membership actually was created. So thank you for joining me. Again, I'm here every week. Wendy says, yes, beautiful sunny day. It certainly is. We're going to have a sunny week, apparently. So I like to share a few other things with everybody. And again, the reasons why is because I have been a student of learning about holistic and spiritual modalities now since actually 1999, where I was suicidal, suffering from depression and anxiety. And luckily for me, I was allergic to traditional medications. So I had to opt into the natural solutions route. And I'm so grateful for that. And I continue to share my journey with people. And that's really what my passion really is about, is to keep educating people on how we can live a more holistic lifestyle where we're connected to ourselves, where we do things when we feel better emotionally and stronger, and we are connected to that higher source, which I believe is our spiritual power, and whatever it is that you want to call it. So a lot of the things I talk about each week and in my courses and contents and in my membership is how to do that, how to manage yourself so that you show up more effectively and emotionally stronger every single day, whether you're an entrepreneur or you're just, a person who's just here on the planet every day. So that is really what I do. And so I like to share information each week on these videos. And people always want to know what tea that is that I'm drinking, because again, it's different every single day. It's different times of year. And so again, this week I'm drinking organic ginger tea, where I make it myself. I make a big, huge batch on the stove. I boil it down and then I let it cool. I can keep the container in the fridge, and then I just top it up with some hot water. So it's got a bit of a golden hue, and I actually add a little bit of pure high-grade lemon essential oil to it. And what that does is it helps to balance my liver. It gets me ready for spring, gets things moving. Ginger gets things moving. It's really good for an upset stomach, but it gets that metabolism going, right? Because spring is almost here. And for many of us, it's detox season. So these are some of the essential foods that you want to be using in your body to start flushing out some of those toxins, some of the things we've accumulated over the winter months. Well, we had to eat all those lovely carbs and stuff to keep us warm, okay? So I'm preparing my body again, but it just feels right to actually be drinking these kinds of teas. So that is what I have in here. Again, this so far this year, I'm pulling weekly oracle cards from Colette Baron-Reid's deck. Yes, she is Canadian. She has so many different decks. I love her work. Last year, we used a different deck. So this year, I'm learning how to use this deck, and so I'm sharing with all of you guys. So these are the cards we will be pulling from again today. So let's get started. We do have a question that was sent in from a member, and so I want to make sure that I ask the question correctly. I've just pulled 2 cards from the deck just before we started, and so we're going to get advice from Spirit. And I bet you there's a lot of people who actually can relate to today's question. And so she wrote in and she said, 2 cards to help support an entrepreneur who wants to know why she always says yes to people when they need something from her. So if you are someone who struggles with saying no, and you really, that's really what you want to say, what is the advice we can get from Spirit so we can give this person? So the 2 cards I drew for this situation is being flexible. So this is the challenge, coming up in the upright position. And the second card for the action step came up in the upside down challenge position, and it says building blocks, but the card is upside down, so we do get the message in a different way. So I'm just going to put the cards down for a minute, and I'm going to, dive deeper into this question a little bit, because one of the things that we need to recognize, and I've gone through this myself so many times, and now that I have a better understanding as to why I used to say yes all the time, now I feel very comfortable in saying no. So when he says, oh goodness, that's just like me. Okay, so I want you guys to listen up, because this is huge for women. I know for guys, some guys don't have as much as a problem, but this is really predominantly for women. So I want to just go into that energy of, saying yes. And I'm going to use some of my own personal experiences, and I'm going to share a story with you guys too before I finish off with the cards. So when we say yes to something, when we really authentically, truly want to say no, before we jump in and say yes, you want to sit with yourself for a minute, because we're in that habit of always saying yes. And then we have regrets. It's like, why did I say that? I don't have time for that. I got to get stuff done. I got my own things I got to do, right? But women, we are so nurturing, and we're caregivers. That is our nature. So when we see somebody in need, or we have a good friend that calls us up and said, oh my God, I got a crisis. Can you help me out? Instantly, boom, we want to say yes. That's that part of us, that nurturing. That's the positive part of it, is that, yes, we care, and we want to support those other people, because that's really, the role of women in families and in communities, is the caregivers, the nurturers, right? But the truth is, when we're saying yes to everything, there's nothing left for us. All right. And then we get mad at the other person. But the truth is, we should really be upset with ourselves, because we are the one that made that decision. And so when we start saying no, when we genuinely need to say no, I'm gonna be honest, it's hard that first time, because you're probably someone who's always said yes to the same person or to the same situation. And so if you say no that first time, what's going to happen? It's usually a fear that's running through your head. It's like, oh, wow. Is this person still going to want to hang out with me? Are they going to understand if I tell the truth? What's going to happen? And so we start playing out all these scenarios in our mind, all these fears that actually aren't true. And so, we might be doing something based on those fears. Where if we said, wait a minute, I need to say no, because I don't, for whatever reasons, you really can't say yes to that situation. What you're doing is you're setting a healthy boundary around yourself. And this is really energy. Remember, our emotions and, that kind of stuff is about energy. So when we begin to stand up for ourselves, of course, that other person is going to react differently, because you've said something that is different. It's different from what they're used to. But what that does is it creates a sense of self-respect. All right. So when you say no, you can say, and this is the reason why. It's not because I don't love you. It's not because I don't want to be with you. It's just because of me. It's because I need to get things done, and I need to focus on me first. And what you're doing is you're actually changing the way energy and the way things show up in your life. So when you have a healthier boundary and you're stronger, what's going to happen is you're going to feel better about yourself for saying no. And so less things that are going to come in where people feel like you're, being mean or whatever. You're truly not. You're being authentic. So more authentic things are going to flow in. You change that energy, all right? And so this is the power of being absolutely authentic, because you don't genuinely mean harm. And sometimes we don't even know why we need to say no. But if we trust our intuition and trust our gut and just stay true to ourselves and say, I love you, but I love me more. All right? By loving yourself more and doing what you need to protect your energy and to focus on you, you will attract more loving things, more abundance, and different opportunities into your life. But you need to start. So this is, really what needs to happen in the situation. And we're going to look at what the two cards actually say as well, because I feel like there's more in the cards. So I'm going to leave that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you a really quick story before I do that about a memory of me in high school. And it's so funny because when I was in high school, I was somebody I had a high IQ. So I love to learn. I still love to learn. And yet I loved sports, okay? So I needed that outlet. I needed something physical, something where I could just focus and, not think about things. And I didn't recognize that ability that I created within myself to just focus and not think about things was actually very, very valuable. And so I have used this skill throughout my life, no matter what challenge or something I've been in. And what I do is I just literally let go. It's kind of like I don't think about anything, but that is very, very powerful. And what I learned after suffering from depression and anxiety, when I started to learn how to meditate, meditation to me came so easy because I realized that's what I'd been doing all along. So when we can put ourselves into that state of nothingness, it can be very powerful and healing, because it's like a sense of surrender, all right? You just allow stuff to come in. And when you're in that state, knowledge comes in and guidance comes in where you know what to do. You intuitively know what to do. So I'm going to go back a little bit and I'm going to step back into that story about me being in high school. So here I was, someone who was highly intelligent and very physical. And so I had this ability within me that I didn't recognize at the time, but I used to call myself a misfit, because when I wanted to hang out in between classes, well, because I was kind of athletic, I couldn't really hang out with the nerdy people because I was athletic. And when I tried to hang out with the athletes, I didn't really have anything to talk about. So because I needed those intelligent conversations, right? So I never felt like I belonged. And I started going to, when I would walk to school, sometimes I would stop in the first bathroom that was right down the hall when I got into school, because I used to have to walk quite a distance to get to school. It was just under 2 miles. And so I'd stop in the bathroom because it would probably take me just under an hour to get to school. And I got to meet about 4 or 5 other young girls who felt like they were misfits too, for whatever their own reasons were. And so throughout the school year, we started meeting up in the bathroom, probably 10 minutes before class. And it was so interesting who everybody was, because again, for their own reasons, they didn't fit into the other clubs in the school. And so we called ourselves the misfits, right? And so we all had this bond where it was because we didn't belong. So it just kind of reminds me of, I don't know what Christmas movie it is. Is it Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer? Like the one where they're all out in the little misfits, all the little presents that are broken and something and nobody wanted them, and they all scoop them up and say, don't worry, you know, we have a home for you. You know, this is what this kind of reminds me of, is that, you know, sometimes we just don't know why we're not fitting in with something. And so we need to acknowledge that, okay? And so you guys will understand this as I read the tarot cards, because sometimes when we feel like we need to be different, we need to show up differently, it's actually a sign of something bigger and yet to come. But that's not going to come in until you set those healthy boundaries first, okay? So it doesn't have to be extreme, but it's about being authentic, all right? And you will attract different people. So in the tarot reading cards, let's go back to this. So what is Spirit saying to happen, or what advice can Spirit give us in this situation? So by this card saying, I just want to get it in here about being flexible, you know, what it's saying is kind of like in that message is that, you know, you can be flexible in saying no to something. And understanding that when you're saying no to something and being truly authentic, it doesn't need to be like this big strict thing where, you know, no, it's a complete no. You know, it's just like it's no to, for whatever that reason is. And so there's an opportunity to talk about what it is that can still exist. And it's like, no, I can't do that right now. Can I follow up with you? Can we hang out tomorrow? Can we do things differently? You know, whatever. Like, no doesn't need to be right across the board. So this is what this card is about, being flexible and understanding what is it are you actually saying no to, and what is it that you're actually afraid of that may not be true. Okay, so it's about understanding the flexibility in the entire situation, all right? It's just not one story here, all right? So be open to understanding the entire scenario and be open to communicating about that. And so the action step that's coming in here is this one here, and it's coming in as the building blocks, okay? So it's got all this structure on top, and it's got, you know, the card, the woman upside down, but it's got these little pieces of the blocks coming apart. And so what this represents to me is like, you know, these cracks, these things that need to come off that foundation are the things of the deeper understanding of what you're actually saying no to. And you need to understand what it is, because when you start resolving this stuff and dealing with the little stuff, bigger things are going to come in, and you're going to attract different people, different situations that are more in alignment with who you are authentically in your life and in your business. And people will treat you differently when you start saying no, when you genuinely just mean no. It doesn't have to be this big production, okay? But you've got to get it going. You've got to, you know, be authentic and be real. So if this is something that you struggle with and you'd like to get started on being more authentic and, you know, just gently start saying no, is 3 essential oils that I would definitely recommend. And again, I like to use high grade essential oils, CPTG grade. So if you'd like to know more about the company that I recommend, please send me a private message, or I can follow up with you, because as a member of my community, you know, we talk a lot each day on how to use the different essential oils and, you know, how to use them different times of the year. And, you know, there's just so much information. So again, I don't want to waste time on these Facebook videos about that, but I can certainly support you, and then you can be involved in a lot of my education community around them. But there's 3 oils I would use in this situation. The first one would definitely be cedarwood. And it's interesting, I've been using cedarwood pretty much all winter, and I use it actually in my hair. As I put the moisturizing balm in my hair afterwards, I usually add a few dabs of cedarwood, because cedarwood's a very protective, strong tree. It's very, you just feel this sense of protection. And so with cedarwood in this situation, it's, you know, when you want to be in that community, that strengthening that bond, feeling a sense that you belong somewhere, it's about cedarwood. So if you don't necessarily belong where you were before based on the people and, you know, the situations that were coming into your life, and you start saying no to that, cedarwood's going to help turn that around. So you start bringing in what is real for you. Okay, and it's a gentle process. This isn't harsh. Okay, the next essential oil you can add to this would be ylang ylang, and ylang ylang is very playful and fun. Doesn't need to be so dark and obtrusive and just whatever. It's just a sense of more allowing. Okay, and the other oil I would recommend would be geranium, and geranium is that oil that is helping to trust the process and opening the heart chakra and just allowing that other essence and that energy of what really has been waiting for you to flow in. So it's a beautiful essential oil. All three of these actually you could combine in a bath. You could put it in sea salts, or you can use your Himalayan salts and start bathing in this if you feel this. And again, it'll just help you emotionally as well, because if it's a high-grade essential oil, it gets into the blood, which means it gets into all our organs, which gets into our brain and helps us feel better. Okay, there's other ways you can use the oils, making a roller ball where you can apply them topically as well, and I teach you how to do this in my community. And the other little trick I would definitely recommend, but I've got a couple of minutes left here, is starting to use some really powerful prayers when you're going through challenges and changes with people that you genuinely care about. Okay, and the one prayer that I love talking about all the time is the Ho'oponopono Hawaiian prayer, and it's just 4 lines where you actually visualize yourself with the person in front of you or the situation, and you say a prayer. And this prayer is, please forgive me, I am sorry, thank you, I love you. Now you can Google this online, you can check it out, but when you send that intention of love, meaning, I'm forgiving you and forgiving the situation, you're actually getting all that energy back to you. So it's a beautiful mirror exercise to do. I use this all the time myself, and it just calms you down, and you'll feel the energy. Most of the people I attract are empathic anyway, so when we do some of these holistic exercises in our group and even together as a team, everybody's like, wow, I can feel it coming back. So again, it's super powerful. I encourage you to check it out. Again, if you would like more information about the essential oils, please connect with me. I love to support and teach people, and you get to be a part of some other amazing people in the community as well. Okay, so again, there's a way to get it for free to get in my community, or it's $36 a month Canadian. There's a discount if you pay for a year in advance, where it's only $300, but you're going to connect with other amazing people, and we're all kind of into the same thing. All right. The last thing I want to close off with you guys is, please, if you enjoy this, go to my YouTube channel called Tamarron's Place. Please subscribe, hit the notification buttons. As we do these videos each week, we are reposting them up on YouTube so people can share them, and I share them in other places on my social media as well, just to keep sharing and keep people in the loop. And there'll be more things coming up with YouTube that I will be posting as part of some of the free events in my community. And once I'm traveling at the end of this month, because we're in the beginning of March, I'm going to be traveling down to Southern Ontario. I've got my first live speaking event happening on Friday, April the 27th in Dundas, Ontario. It is a fundraiser. I'm launching my speaking career. People can buy tickets for it. It's only $48 plus taxes here in Canada. The money's going to the Owl Foundation plus the cost of the event. There is no money going to me, but if you buy a ticket for that, you get a 1-month free membership in my Tamarron's Place. So again, it's a win-win for everybody. It's going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be all kinds of giveaways and great stuff happening, but I want to be down there in that area. So I'm going to be traveling around in Southern Ontario for the end of March and in the month of April, so I can connect with more entrepreneurs who want to be a part of our membership. I can do some little classes with you guys about the holistic and the spiritual modalities to keep you in tune and balance with yourself as we're going through these huge shifts on the planet. And it's an opportunity for you to meet me one-on-one. And if I am at your business, we can do the free tea and tarot reading if you become a member in my group, and I can answer one of your questions. Again, nobody has to know it's you. You remain anonymous, but your question gets answered, and it's a lot of fun. Okay. So I'm asking you guys to check that out. And the only other thing I've got happening is on Tuesday, March the 20th, I'm launching my Elixir of Life Personal Transformation Program. Again, I only do these in the spring and the fall, so it's a 28-day program, and it's 28 days where we work together in a private Facebook group. We have weekly conference calls once a week. These are very introspective questions that you are asked for the 28 days. It helps you to really understand yourself more intimately, to let go of something so that some good stuff can come in. You get 28 free healthy recipes, 28 free health tips. There's some affirmations in there. It's a small community. We don't do more than 12 people at a time. It's a regular price of $96 plus HST for the 28 days. So it's an awesome deal to begin with, maximum 12 people. But here's the thing, if you become a member of Tamron's Place, you get that for 50% off. So it's only $48. And again, I can share with you how you can join to be a member. So if this is something you feel drawn to, if you know anybody that they feel like, they need to really let go of some stuff in their life, this is an amazing opportunity to connect and to hang out with me for the 28 days. So super excited about that. So please let me know. And if not, I will see you guys here again next Tuesday, live at 222 here on my Facebook for my free weekly tea and tarot reading. And again, there's an opportunity for you to send in your question as well. All right, thanks for now, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.